So when it comes to roguelikes, roguelites, and survivor games, bullet hells, that sort of genre, there are plenty out there. The genre's actually, in my opinion, becoming really oversaturated. You've got like vampire survivors, now you've got soulstone survivors, you've got Nordic ashes, you've got, I think, soul survivors, you've got yet another zombie survivors. There are so many of the games. And Brotato is another one of those titles. And I feel this game deserves a review because I've put a lot of hours into it very recently. I only picked it up a few days ago, like I'm going to say less than a week ago I purchased the game. And I've gone through, I've unlocked every single character. It's not just about making progress in the game, they've set certain challenges. For an example, you have to get some of your stats to certain percentages, not just positive, there's some for negative as well. There's one to kill a boss in 15 seconds, there's some to have a certain amount of, for an example, range damage, whilst having some turrets on the map or whatever you want to call it. There are lots and lots of challenges to unlock characters. There's mods and everything for the game as well. And this isn't a game that's going to be a very, very quick one to get everything done. In order to unlock every single character, it took me 24 hours of playtime. I think it was a little bit over 24 hours. And that's solid playtime. So I played an entire day's worth of the game in order to get it all unlocked. And one of the best things, in my opinion, about this game is it is so cheap. Like many of the other survivor games out there, the roguelikes and the bullet hells, this game's going to set you back £4. That's all it costs. And to get that many hours of pure entertainment enjoyment out of a game for that cheap, you can't go wrong. But it's not the fact that you can't go wrong. This game is really, really fun. The design of the gameplay loop is you start as your character. There are a bunch of different difficulties. They go from danger 0, you're starting one, up to danger 5. And with the difficulty increase, you'll have elites spawning in, you'll have hordes of enemies on certain waves. The enemies get tougher and things like that. And when you get to danger 5, instead of having one boss on the final wave, you have 2. And then when it comes to the gameplay itself, you start off on wave 1. You've got a very short amount of time. And you go around killing enemies, you pick up the materials, and at the end of every single wave, there's a shop. You can re-roll the items, you can lock your items in place. You've got an infinite amount of lock-in as well. There are 4 items that are shown, and you can lock every single one if you want to. Then you've got things like picking up consumable like upgrade boxes from trees that you can destroy. They're just spawnable objects that give you some materials, give you fruit to replenish some of your health, and they can occasionally drop you an upgrade box. And then when you level up, you're given an upgrade as well. So at the end of the wave, before you go to the shop, if you've leveled up, you'll be offered things like max health, extra range damage, armor, attack speed, crit chance, a bunch of different stats. You'll be offered improvements for them. So you complete a wave, you go to the shop after doing your upgrade, you re-roll, you get some items and stuff, and there's positives and negatives to the items. And then as you make progress through, the waves start getting longer, up to the cap of 1 minute per wave. The enemies start spawning in bigger numbers, they get a lot tougher, they get faster. There's a bunch of different archetypes of enemies. You've got some that will deal range damage, you've got some that will deal melee. You've got some that are tougher than others. There's just a bunch of different enemies. And then you make it all the way through the waves up until wave 20. And that is when the boss is going to spawn in. And you don't have to kill every single enemy on the screen to complete a wave. As I said, it's based on a timer. So for an example, wave 18, 60 seconds long. You don't have to kill all the enemies. As long as you survive the 60 seconds, you are good to go. And as well as getting health regen in this game, you also get life steal, so you can deal damage to the enemies and sort of like steal life off them to keep yourself alive. And the items in this game are really, really cool. You can get more trees to spawn. You can also then get turrets to spawn for you every time you kill a tree. There's also something called the Lumberjack shirt, which will let you take down the trees in one hit. So lots of things that are going to help your runs. You can become really, really powerful in this game. And after you have reached wave 20, whether you kill the boss or not, say you survive the 60 seconds, you can then start playing endless. And you can just keep going, keep upgrading. There's different tiers to your weapons, there's different tiers to the items. And I believe there is so much to offer for this game. And then you've got all the mods and stuff as well. I haven't touched the mods at all. You can change the difficulty if you want to. You can make the enemies weaker and everything like that before you even go into the game. So There's a lot of accessibility in terms of the difficulty of the game. You don't have to start it off being its regular difficulty. You can make it easier, you can make it harder. It's entirely up to you. There's a lot of choice when you are playing this game. So I think they absolutely nailed it. The game's just dropped into the 1.0 release, so it's out of early access now. It's going to cost you £4. The music is fantastic. The gameplay loop is a lot of fun. There are loads of characters to unlock through progression as well as challenges. Not everything's always going to be a benefit to you. Not everything's always going to be a negative towards you, the player, as well. And I absolutely love the fact that they based it on potatoes. I think that was a really, really cool design choice. And all the characters have their own names, their own stats, and everything like that. Like, you've got Old, who's going to have a much smaller map size, and he's going to be slower. And then you've got something like the Cyborg that starts with a minigun. You even get a character in the game called Ball that is designed to not use any weapons. He's all about explosive damage. You get characters that will give you the option to use one weapon. You'll get some that all their weapons are destroyed at the end of the wave. You'll get some that can only have ranged, some that can only have melee. There's a character where you can have 12 weapons. It gets really, really crazy. And not only that, the materials you pick up, which is your currency for the shop, if you don't pick any up and it's left on the map, it doubles the next wave. So for an example, I leave 10 behind to go into the next wave. The first 10 I pick up are going to give me 2 each, so I actually get 20 from it. And every single character in this game has their own starting weapons they can choose from. Some, for an example, might be able to start with a stick, a taser, and a spiky shield. Others might be able to start with a shotgun, an SMG, a pistol, and a revolver. There's a huge variety in this game. And my review, this game, if you haven't played it, jump on it, play it for a little bit. I guarantee you'll have fun. And it's not going to break the bank. It's not one of those £70 games that you're going to play for 2 hours and then come across a game-breaking bug where your character gets reset or something like that. You're going to pay £4. You're going to get hours and hours of fun out of it. As I said, it took me 24 hours to unlock every single character. And that's 24 hours of actual game time, so over the course of like 2 or 3 days. And then even after that, I've put, I think, just a little over 30 hours at this point altogether. And not just that, but now that I've unlocked every single character in the game, what I now need to do is go back through and win matches. So go through Wave 20 with a bunch of the different characters so that I can unlock even more powerful weapons, so that I can become more powerful as a player. And it's just a continuous cycle of becoming more powerful, unlocking characters, making the game more fun, because there is such a big variety in character choice, weapon choice, items that you pick up in the shop, deciding if you're going to go through to Endless or if you're happy to end it at Wave 20. So in my opinion, really, really worth it. And that is my review for Brotato. And on that note, we are going to leave the video there. If you enjoyed it, leaving a like is appreciated. If you wish to support me further as a creator, there are links in the description. Let me know your thoughts about the video in the comments. And if you want to watch more, you can click the video on screen. All support on the channel is greatly appreciated, and I hope you enjoyed it. Thank you for watching.